G'day guys, welcome back. Yeah, we've run into the weekend here, and pretty steady sort of day. Haven't done a hell of a lot. Yeah, no, we had a function last night. Had a friend's birthday party, so we actually stayed in town, and Sarah's brother and his wife, if I can get it out, looked after the kids for the night, so that was good. Yeah, caught up with a few people we haven't seen for a while, and yeah, had a few laughs, which, yeah, that was a really good night. So yeah, no, been pretty steady today, and it's been pretty hot again. I don't think it's quite got to 40, but it's got very close, and it's sort of coming in overcast again now, as though it could storm. So I've just come down to have a look at this loosen again. Apologies with that the last video. There's a bit in there when I'm in the spraying where the footage is pretty sketchy. I'm not too sure what happened with the GoPro. It did fall off the seat and land on the floor a couple of times, just with the paddock was reasonably rough. But yeah, there was a patch in there, and I actually cut the end off it, but I couldn't. What I'm sort of been doing is, trying to do the videos in sequence, so they're easier to edit and that sort of stuff. So if I had to cut that section out, it would have probably not made a lot of sense. So anyway, I just sort of left it in, and yeah, got sort of the gist of it anyway. But yeah, look, apologies about that. I'll try and in future not do that. But anyway, so yesterday we had our farm business review with Eric from Farm & Co. Yeah, look, we've had a very good year. Probably a little bit above average yields, and very good prices has helped. The sheep jobs come back a bit. He'll send through a report, so when I get that, I'll sit down and talk through it a bit more. Yeah, so, but it's, it's a couple of guys I was talking to last night use those guys as well for their farm reviews, and we always sort of laugh, before and it takes all day. It's pretty draining. You're looking for a beer by the end of the day, but the first half of the day you sort of go through and look at what parts of the enterprise have made money, and what's done well and what hasn't, and what probably needs to improve a bit, and that sort of thing. And across the board, things have been pretty good, or been very good again. The sheep job is off a little bit, just probably purely our lambing results weren't as good year on year, but the price is also back a little bit too, which is always a battle. But we sort of get to lunchtime and you're on a bit of a high, and then after lunch you're starting to do the budget for the coming year. That's always a bit of a downer. You always end up feel like you've been kicked in the backside, and just with where commodity prices are at, where input prices are, fuel, fertilizer, chemical are our main ones, obviously, and like you're budgeting on average yields and where the prices are at and that sort of stuff. And look, the prices have come off a bit. We sold all our wheat, for instance, at we've averaged a bit over $400 a tonne, which is fantastic. The price now, if we've got a little bit of wheat left to sell, the price is back to, I think it's $350, $360 around that. And canola, canola's worse. We had canola contracted at $980 with the oil bonus, because all our canola was over 42%. So, we were up over $1,020 a tonne. Canola now is back at about $660, $670. So, that's, what's that? Nearly $400 a tonne. Is huge, really. Like, it's massive. So anyway, like, we've had a good year this year, and Sarah and I were a bit down the dumps, I suppose, afterwards, and I sort of said, well, hang on a minute, we had this same conversation 12 months prior, where it was going to be just a break even or maybe a little loss, and we've come out in quite a good position. So you sort of, a budget's only a budget. It's only put down on a bit of paper, but it probably highlights how tight the job is. You know, like you can, in this game, farming game, you can work your ass off for 12 months and not make any money. Like that's the cold hard reality of it. If you said to someone that's got a 9-to-5 job, and I suppose this is part of the reason I started doing this, was just to show people that do work 9-to-5 jobs. If I said to you, you're going to work all year and I might pay you at the end of the year. So that's a very big hypothetical. I know I'm drawing a pretty long bow here, but you know, that's essentially what we're doing. We're investing hundreds of thousands of dollars in hope that we, you know, you might pick up, you might double your money, hopefully, but you know, that doesn't really happen. So look, we've had a really good year, but you know, we've just got to watch the figures going forward. And yeah, the season, you can't control Mother Nature, so you know, you've just got to have your finger on the pulse with management, timeliness of stuff, like get crops in on time, and that sort of thing, and that sort of, you know, that controls, the old saying, you sort of control the controllables a bit. So anyway, it's not all doom and gloom. We've got enough to, it's been an old saying, as long as you've got enough to go around again, which we have. So it's the game we play, so we can't complain about it. We're in it for the long run. We've got, you know, money invested in machinery and that sort of stuff. So yeah, if we want to complain about it, we go and play a different game. That's the long and short of it. We sell up and, you know, go and do something else. But we're in it for life, essentially. So no, it's the bed we lay in, so you just got to adapt to it as it goes. So anyway, enough about that doom and gloom. But yeah, look, once the report comes through from Eric, I'll sit down and just show you. It's like, it's I suppose we've got three parts to our business with the, oh, hang on a minute, who's this? What are you doing? Get in here. Tilly. She's not gonna get in. Here, get in here. What are you doing? Hello, little dog. Get over there and come to say g'day. Yeah, we've got three, like the cropping, the sheep, cropping the livestock, and the contracting. Are the sort of three parts to our business. So yeah, and look, that's what we'll be able to. That's what Eric does. He pulls them apart, and we work out what's making money and what's not, and where we need to sort of tighten the purse strings a bit. So anyway, back to the farming, back to the fun stuff. Yeah, so we had a look at this hay in the last one, and a couple of hot days on it. Oh goodness me, it's changed really. It's changed really quickly. Yeah, so I don't know whether we'll get much of a dew tonight, but you know, that's ready to go. So the baler's on. I'm actually supposed to do some spraying in the morning, but I can't see with the overcast. We won't get much of a dew tonight to have a crack at it, excuse me. So anyway, I might get up a couple of hours early in the morning and get over on your seat, over there, get over. Yeah, would you get over there? Tilton, get over. Yeah, get up a couple of hours early in the morning and try and get a bit in a bale before I go spraying. So stay tuned, more to come. Morning guys. You probably, I don't know whether you can see me or not, just maybe. Yeah, it's early morning. It was about 20 past 4 when alarm clock went off about 3 o'clock. Yeah, just looking at the weather forecast, it's a bit of rain forecast for this afternoon and tomorrow. Yeah, so just trying to get this hay in a bale. Yeah, so I've just been watching I did reset the alarm to sort of 4 o'clock, but yeah, once I'm awake, I'm awake. So yeah, sort of just been keeping an eye on the weather station out in the paddock here and just watching the humidity and what the temperature's doing. It's still pretty warm at the moment. Just temperature hasn't really dropped overnight, so I'm just out here just gonna have a bit of a look at what's going on. Yeah, and hopefully we might be able to get a bit of this stuff in a bale, but I'm not super confident, but we'll see. Okay, we've got one out. I just slipped a knot on the baler. I'm not too sure why, but we'll stick the magic wand in. Lanny dry in half. Oh, that one's half straw. Anyway, I'll just say what's happened. Whoever's put more string in it when they've tied the like I spoke about in the earlier videos. Yeah, when got my head torch on. Yeah, when you tie the one bale to the next to the next to the next, you need to leave, when you tie the knot between the two balls, you just need to leave sort of about 25 mil, about an inch of string, just so the knots don't pull through. And I'd say all that's happened is, whether it's me or Brendan, he just hasn't quite left enough tail, and when it's got pressure on it, the knot's actually pulled out of itself. So yeah, anyway, it's yeah, that's all right though. Yeah, a bit different this tractor than the other one. It's a bit quick, a bit quieter, but it definitely knows it's, close the door, definitely knows it's got it on behind it. So yeah, still just playing around with the isobus in here. I can't hear the beep when it ties the knot, so we just need to turn the volume up a bit. But yeah, we'll do a few more and we'll probe a couple more and see how we're going. Alright, so what I just said a minute ago isn't quite right, because it's just hasn't tied this one off again for some reason. Yeah, not 100% sure. There's a bit of shit there somewhere. Yeah, it just seems to be slipping that knot. Yeah, we'll have a bit of a play. We'll pull that up and just see what's going on. Hopefully we found the culprit. That was my fault. I didn't. You can see the string comes down and it runs through those rollers. I hadn't fed it through those rollers, so when I got here it was pulled tight on that bale. So I've just had to cut it and reroute it again. And fingers crossed, that's the solution. We'll fix the knotter problem, which is good. I'm just gonna probe a couple, and battery's getting low on my probe, which isn't helping, but yeah, 10% about that. We haven't got a lot of chaff on the ground. Still plenty of leaf on the, yeah, still plenty of leaf on it, so it's, yeah, it's probably pretty good. It's picking up a bit of wet stuff, but yeah, I think we'll 12 and a half. We might have died, have we? Yeah, anyway, we'll keep doing a few. We'll get till sort of sun up and I'll sort of like at the house. We're working right beside the house here, so I can duck home. I'll have another battery at home. But anyway, we'll get into it now while the going's good. We're getting to the end. Yeah, we're gonna end up with about 100 bales. Just looking at the radar, it wasn't actually supposed to rain till lunchtime, but sort of looking like, hang on, I'm just gonna turn around here. Yeah, sort of looking like it might rain in the next hour or so. Well, it's actually beaut. See, the camera's good enough to see the spots on the baler, so yeah, it's just starting to rain now. But yeah, hopefully I've only got another 15 minutes roughly, so yeah, fingers crossed we can get it done. We're going to end up with about 100 bales. This side was a bit lighter than the other side. Yeah, just we've sort of had stock wandering around here, lambs on it most of the time too. Yeah, anyway, once we got that couple of tricks sorted out with the baler, it's been rocking along pretty well. So yeah, we'll try get it finished. Okie dokie. So yeah, it has started to rain. It is just drizzling, just enough. But looking at the forecast, it's going to rain for the next few days. Just hang on a sec. I'll just give that a wipe. That's better. You're a bit foggy. Yeah. So all I've done is I've just run around, and I haven't got time to cart it in and get it under cover, this stuff. So I've just run around and stacked them into groups of whatever, 20, 30, just to try and protect them for the weather a bit. Still plenty of leaf on it after the baler. It's gonna be good stuff. Smells good. So yeah, but we'll just have to. Sunday today, so I'm here on my own, and there's a couple of tyres that are a bit ordinary on the trailer that we cart the hay in, and I got the boys to pull them off on Friday and take them to town, and they're a different. They're an older style rim, so they're a smaller tyre, which is hard to come by now. Or I think they're $500 each for new ones, which I didn't really want to pay that sort of money for them, given it's only on an old farm trailer. But the amount we use it, a couple of new ones probably wouldn't hurt. So anyway. Yeah, so anyway, but yeah, it's starting to drizzle rain. There's rain forecast really all day today and half of tomorrow, and we're supposed to be scanning ewes, the main line of ewes in the morning to see whether they're in lamb or not. Yeah, so we'll probably, our scanner comes, he's sort of 3 hours away, so probably need to touch base with him and just find out what he's thinking, a bit of contingency. It's out the other farm, so we're out in the weather. We're not back here with the yards under the shed. So yeah, we'll just see what the day brings, give it a few hours. But yeah, we'll go and put the feet up for a few hours and just keep an eye on the weather. So anyway, we'll wind this one up. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.